Hi. For a couple of days, I will be reading 7 Days Behind the Veil. It is 7 chapters and it is written by John Paul Jackson. Day 1. By his Spirit he adorned the heavens, his hand piercing the fleeing serpent. Indeed, these are the mere edges of his ways, and how small a whisper we hear of him. But the thunder of his power who can understand? Job 26:13-14. Standing before the throne. Nothing can truly prepare you for standing before the throne of God. For the first time in your life, nothing holds him at a distance. There are no boundaries, there are no safe zones. His power is all-consuming, and each wave convinces you more and more of two things. You are dead should the thought ever cross his mind, and nothing could ever be like him. Nothing can prepare us for this sort of experience, this sort of realization. Every inch of our body is incredibly aware and terrified by his power. Every inch of our soul burns at his proximity. He is more than we could think possible. Being in the throne room is one of the most glorious, most frightening experiences we could ever have. Standing there, I thought I was going to die. I was not a brave man before him. Touched by his fervent, burning power, I knew that if he were to think a single random thought, it would be done. Just like that, I prayed that random thought would not be about me. At the same time, I was aware that God knows every detail about every single thing in existence, even those things that are not yet. There is nothing outside his knowledge. He knows what it is, where it is, why it is, and what will happen to it before the end. He knows its past, present, and future. He knows every cell in every physical and non-physical body, every subatomic particle. He knows every piece of sand in every crystal, in every stone, in every mountain. He knows every thought of every creature, all at the same time. Nothing is beyond him. Nothing is outside of him. Beyond the mind. In one instant, just one encounter, we are changed forever. Even if his touch seems small or insignificant to us at the time, even if we forget seemingly brief daily encounters, our spirit will always remember and continually attempt to pull our mind, will, and emotions back toward him, to bring us once again into the flame of his presence. We are changed forever by each encounter. We are truly regenerated. That is what his presence does to a person. Without even trying, just because he is who he is, he steps beyond everything we have ever thought of or tried to comprehend. He flows beyond everything we could ever hope for. He goes beyond our wildest dreams, and being a prophetic people, we know what it is like to dream wild. He is more than we could imagine, more than we could ever touch or know fully. Even if we had 1,000,000 years and each year lasted 1,000,000 years, we can never reach the end of him. We will never cease to be amazed. Yet in the midst of this glory, it is his pleasure to touch us. All this power, all this truth and fragrance and passion, everything he is. And it is his pleasure, his desire to spend his time with us. We are the focal point of his heart, dazzled by the love of your life. When we have a true God experience, our tiny view of him bends. Depending on the level of the encounter, sometimes it completely shatters. To compare a very human experience with a divine encounter is like being on an airplane and looking down toward the ground on a cloudy day. We see nothing but a white-gray mass. For some studying the clouds, it is enough. It can take years to learn everything known about them and many more years to make our own discoveries. But one of the awesome, mind-twisting things about God is this. Even when the clouds part, what we see is just a small glimpse. No matter how glorious, how huge, how amazing, how deep, how intricate, and how impossibly beautiful it is only a glimpse of him. It is here in the throne room's holy atmosphere that we face the grandeur of Creator and source of all that exists, visible and invisible. It is here we understand what Job was saying. I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful me, which I did not know. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see you. Therefore I abhor you, myself, and repent in dust and ashes. Job 42:3, 5-6. Selah moments. Selah is a pause, a reflection. The following thoughts are meant to be read slowly, meditatively, while listening to the heartbeat and breath of God. You are created to live, breathe, and pull your being from the heart of God. Everything He's done to touch your heart. Nothing is outside of Him. In the midst of His unfathomable glory, power, and majesty, it is His pleasure to spend time with you. All He is available to you as His presence expands within you. All it takes is getting closer.